Hi guys, Penny Rose Journals, how you doing? Accidentally hit record. I was just setting up, getting ready. This is Claudia. She is finally finished. You've seen her floating around a couple of times. She's now much bigger and fatter than last time you saw her. She has on board all her ephemera, including her vintage book pages and whatnot. But anyway, here we go. We can have a good look and show you the whole. She is covered in this beautiful black and silver fabric. This was picked up as a remnant from a fabric store. This panel of black lace was part of a skirt that I got from the Goodwill. And this little piece of lace, I am not even sure where that came from. It wraps around the book, but it was quite a big piece of black lace. It's very beautiful. It's clearly come off of something that I've bought from Goodwill, but I don't know what. Can't remember. Getting old. She is an odd shape. I could have made her a normal shape instead of binding her the way she was actually built, using the long edge as a spine, but I just felt like doing something different. So here we have Claudia, and she is 25 centimeters or 10 inches tall and 28 centimeters or 11 inches wide. So she's slightly wider than she is tall, which is unusual. She has 5 signatures. Stand her up so you can see. You got that? Yep. Her spine is about 7 centimeters or just under 3 inches, probably 2.5 inches. She's covered all the way around in this beautiful fabric. And you can see the back. She has a continuation of that same lace panel. I have a feeling it was a skirt or a shirt or something, but don't quote me. I can't remember where I got it from. It's beautiful lace though. It's absolutely gorgeous. She also has a spine dangle here of various bits of broken jewellery and beads and necklace and goodness knows what, little dangles. That's removable. It's just held on with a little bulldog clip, so yeah. And she has all her signature strings still attached. You can remove them or not as you see fit. All they need is a little snip if you don't like them. I leave them on because I think they're pretty, and some people like them, some people don't. Gives you options. Right, I'm going to move my dangle out of the way. Open up and make sure you can see everything, which is going to be the trick here because she's pretty big. You can see almost everything. She has a fabric inside pocket. This was a baby sling that I picked up at Goodwill. Even they didn't know what it was. I had to research it online to find out what it was by using the brand name. So yeah, anyway, it was a pretty piece of fabric and an odd shape. But anyway, we have an inside pocket that has a lot of things in it because it fit a lot of things. So it has one of my Kintsugi postcards, been reconstructed as you can see, and has the gold covering the tear lines and whatnot. And we have just a little journal card tag thing, a bigger journal card with a piece of fabric from a shirt from Goodwill, just for journaling. Have a little envelope that is made of a travel book, a big faux stamp on the front. There's a ticket that holds it closed, and inside we have a couple of photographs from out of a book. Just put on some card backing. So there's that. We have a cute little book made out of a couple of journal cards. It is bound a bit different than what I normally do, with lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of pages, so plenty of room for notes in there. I'll leave that out for a minute. And one of my stuffed envelope sort of pockets has a little notepad, a tag, another tag at the back, and a little envelope, decorated envelope made out of a book page. And inside there's a little place for notes. So, and there you have that. That is all that's in the front pocket. Quite a lot. We have just the inside front cover is just a piece of card made out of large book pages because I don't have any cardboard. So I use a large book as a glue page and then stick all the pages together. Cover them. This is just covered in strips of book page and sewn around and has the pocket attached. So yeah, that is our inside front cover. I'll pop all our things back in here. Like I say, you fit a lot in this pocket, so if there's you know, a requirement to add more things, then there is certainly room. There we go. Anyway, she has basically waterfall style pages, smallest to largest. It's the way I like to do my journals, just showcases everything a little bit at a glance. Gives you a teaser to see what's coming. So I have a little travel book page. This is a hiking book from across the UK. A batch dyed paper doily, an ink dyed book page. Just reinforced the spine with a little bit of dictionary because it was a bit damaged, but I love the colours. It really turned out nicely. Some writing paper, a piece of batch dyed sketch paper. There's one of the little slide squares I made the other day with the little punch outs that I received from Bonnie. This is a book out of a purling book, Purling in Broome, Western Australia. Yeah, lots of interesting old documents copied onto it, so I thought it would be nice in here. Some coffee dyed paper. I love the way these pages turned out. These are the ones that we extended to fit into this book because, of course, you know, you can see how much room there is between a regular size page and the edge of the book. I just absolutely love the way they turned out, and they're just yummy. I just want to make more books this sort of size so that I can do this more often because, yeah, I just love those. They're just all so different and they're all so interesting. I did collage some writing space in, but a lot of the pages I just left as they were because they were just yummy. We have a pocket here just made out of book pages, and we also have a very sad dog behind me who wants to go outside. This was part of that paper cutting book that I had. Yeah, there's just some little bits and pieces tucked in here, little note pages, tiny little notebooks, little sort of, what was that? That was a little Bob Ross sort of calendar. Just had lots of beautiful paintings on it, so I just tuck a little one in every now and again. It's just a little note flip with some little bits and pieces stuck on the front. Yeah, just little goodies. This is just a folded over page. It has a couple of, well, it has 3 book pages tucked into it, and because they were quite long, I use 2 paper clips just to hold them, because on the back I have put 3 more book pages lengthways, so they are nicely secured. You can see this is beautiful batch dyed pieces of paper. You see in here as well. Again, 3 vintage book pages, just held into a fold with a altered paper clip. This one looks like a little medal for something. I was playing around with old bits of ribbon and whatnot, and yeah, decided to make some medals. In the back of that, again, there is a big old book page. This is the one that's very, very thick. It's quite textural. It feels almost like card. It's very thick paper. It's another one of these paper cutout book pages. Like I say, I just love the way these pages came together. They're so yummy to me. Some music paper. Here's one of the pages I made out of the punch cuts that I got from Bonnie. Made a pocket out of it on the music paper. Has a couple more little vintage book pages tucked in, a postcard, a journal card, and another type of journal card just tucked in there. Stamp. A little page from a gardening, well, it wasn't a gardening book, it was a flower identification booklet. Some graph paper, it's been coffee dyed. This is the cover of an old book, just the dust cover. It was just floating around in my filing cabinet, so I used bits of paper to basically secure it and make sure it wasn't going to fall to pieces because it was quite damaged. And I made a pocket out of the inside. It's just a little flip pad of note paper there for you. Some vintage book page, a little faux envelope, and a couple of journal cards tucked in there. Some child's calligraphy paper. Here's a big book page. This is a big envelope. I received this in Happy Mail. Yeah. And it's just a beautiful envelope. I really didn't want to do anything to it because I just loved it the way it was. So yeah, the book page is sort of half in there and it's clipped in with a altered paper clip. There's also a journal card in there with it. On the other side there is some vintage book page, another faux envelope for writing space, a little envelope that's made of a paper doily with just a few bits of ephemera inside, and just this cute little envelope that folds out, and you can fold it either way. It's just something that was floating around in my stash. Here's a page edge pocket. It goes around the page edge. It's just made out of a piece of scrapbook paper that I was gifted. Yeah, it has a journal card, quite a large journal card, one of my paper origami dolls, bookmarks, another smaller journal card, and a little paper cut out of envelope sort of business from a cookbook, just with a few bits of ephemera tucked in, just reproduction printed ephemera. On the other side, that's the other side of the pocket, exactly the same as the previous side, just has a few bits and pieces of printed ephemera and stamped ephemera. One of my little wallpaper pockets that has a slide inside, an inventory tag, and another big journal card. some piano roll paper, lots of bits of shopping bag with jelly printing. Another book page pocket just in here. Has one of those sort of floating pockets that has so many pockets in it. What is it? One pocket, 2 pocket, 3, 4, 5 pockets. Yeah, 5 pocket floater. Another little envelope that I had floating around in my stash, just a very cute one. A little faux envelope that's held together with a tiny paper clip, and just a stamped piece of card for journaling on the back of. There's the other side of that big envelope. It has inside some vintage book papers and another journal card. I just love it. It is just the most gorgeous envelope. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but it has like almost like a Hessian sort of pattern on it. I don't know, it's just lovely. I really wanted to hoard it, but here it is. I've put it in my book. Piece of batch dyed paper. You can see the staining from, I guess, some playing cards that were sitting up against it. The pattern on the back, whatever that might have been. Is the other side of that dust cover, just with a few bits. This is some actual ephemera from either the 70s or the 60s. What is it? 1968. There you are. Genuine ephemera. And a journal card, and another one of those little faux envelopes. Picture out of a encyclopedia. Just, I liked it. Ended up here. And some Chinese newspaper, I think. Some coffee dyed papers. Some jelly prints with some doodling on it. Some of that string art that you used to see people do quite a bit. Just a plan for that on some graph paper. Another batch dyed paper doily. File folder. Just a decorated little page. There was probably a company logo on here. This is another big envelope. Has some vintage book page and another journal card inside. This is another dust cover. This is a dust cover off of a potpourri book. Just again made pockets from it. One of my little fluffy flowers stuck to the top there. More vintage book page, journal card, and a flashcard. Mathematical flashcard. Alright. Not encyclopedia, atlas page. Some writing space and music paper. Little $5 tag that was floating around on my desk. Nothing is out of bounds. That's the other inside of the dust cover. Again, some vintage book page. Another one of those kintsugi repaired postcards. A journal card and one of my little sewn cluster framed felt backed bits of fabric. For no reason other than it's just pretty. Went with the theme, it's black and silver, so you've obviously seen a lot of these as we've gone through. They're just little fabric swatches of the same fabric as is on the cover, and just bits and pieces of lace and whatnot. Here's just 3 tall pockets, or 3 pockets just stuck down in a waterfall sort of fashion. There are pockets behind, and of course internal pockets on each of them. This was a little paper bag made out of some interesting
sort of glassine paper with a pattern on it. Again, there was black and silver, and another one that was in white made out of book page. These two, so a couple of little clusters glued on the front. So writing paper, a ticket. This is part of a collectible stamp first day cover sort of business. Had quite a few of these little cards in it with trams on them. It's old pattern envelope, just stuck down there. There's the other side, the butterick. There's an interesting book page, not vintage. Well, actually it is probably vintage. Oh, excuse me, my stomach's grumbling. Yeah, it is probably actually a vintage book page, but it's not. I don't know. You know how it is, vintage. 1980s is vintage these days, so, it's older than that, but, it's not exciting. It's just a interesting book page that I've popped in here. A bit of an altered paper clip holding it in, and there is another journal card in there with that. Some more jelly printing with doodling. That's the same one that was in the other one. This is some book page with just paper napkin glued over the top. Some interesting recipes. Some eco dyeing paper. Batch dyed gardening book, blank music paper. This was just a little ruffle made out of strips of paper that were on my desk, and leftover threads that were sitting next to my sewing machine. When I took my paper off, I wanted to make a ruffle. Took my paper into my sewing room and sat down and just grabbed all the threads that were sitting next to my machine as well. I keep all my threads. It just made a nice addition to the side of the page. More bits of jelly print. This is just painted paper. Again, it's all shopping bag paper. It's just the edges of a painted shopping bag. It's painted with house paint. This is a file divider. I've just folded it up, so there is actually a bit more. There's the whole year and months and writing paper on the back. Some piano roll. And some jelly printing. Looks like an old wall. I love that piece of jelly print. And here is the last signature. This is some coffee dyed paper that's been run through the printer. Had some decoration printed on it. Piece of child's scrapbook paper that's been batch dyed. One of the last pieces of that old poetry book that I had that had the beautiful jackled edge on it. Some very old graph paper. It's been coffee dyed. Crossword, also been batch dyed. That more batch dyeing. Page out of a gardening book that I just enjoyed, so I left the pictures there because they were just decorative and beautiful, and I've covered it up with some sort of collage of paper bits, so there's plenty of writing space. These are just two bits of scrapbook paper that were batch dyed. I've sort of glued them together sort of here. So there's a tuck in this section, and then when you fold it over, there's a fold out. So a bit more journaling space there for you. side of that gardening book page. This had some beautiful illustrations of plants. Just another one of those Franken pages with jelly print and all sorts. And there we have it. That's Claudia. In the back she has another paper collaged piece of card for the inside back cover. This very, very old book page. This would be an antique, I imagine. A small journaling tag or card with one of those little Bonnie inspired slides, and a very old book spine that I had laying on my desk glued onto a belly band, and it's all been sewn around and stuck down. So yeah, that is Claudia. I hope you enjoyed her. She was a lot of fun to make. I really enjoyed the papers. The pages in here are just spectacular, I think. Probably sounds a bit full of it, really. It's my book. But I just love them. Just absolutely adore them. She's got a bit of a gator mouth. But, you know, since when do I make a book that doesn't? Anyway, that's Claudia. I hope you enjoyed your look through her. I enjoyed having you along for the trip. It's always nice to show a beautiful big book to people. She will be on the Etsy store, Penny Rose Journals. I haven't taken her photos yet, so I will probably log off now, do that. And yeah, thanks very much for coming along. I hope you enjoyed Claudia. Like I said, she was a joy to make. She was just beautiful. But as always, I'm glad she's done, because now I get to move on and do something new. All right, thanks for coming along, guys. I will see you again next time. Bye.